For some time now, we have been working off a plan that was developed a few years ago to capitalize on what's being done here at the Crossplex by bringing sports entertainment through amateur athletics here at this facility. The first event that we had brought hundreds of people here to this event, and it demonstrated that people will come if you got a venue that's secure, that's modern and filled with technology. But the problem that we had was there was not enough amenities to support the people who were coming here. And in listening to the community and the neighborhood people who talked in terms of bringing more restaurants to the area, bringing more upscale businesses to the area, we felt that we had the magic combination that with this facility located here and the energy that it creates, that we can now have an economic upturn in the area by bringing those types of businesses here.
With this development, we can see a lot of pride that's going to be brought back in here to the area. So we're looking forward to it, and with the new venues that's coming in, it's going to be a plus not only for this Crossplex area, but for the surrounding businesses that are already here in the area.
The vision that I have is that we want to make every neighborhood a neighborhood that you have a sense of pride in living in that neighborhood. We're talking about improving housing quality. A primary example of how we can do that is what is happening in the Woodlawn area with the Wood Station project that has created hundreds of units for individuals to live in there, improve the single-family home housing stock in that area. Not too far from this location here, we have the senior citizen home apartments for seniors that is part of a beautiful residential community. The Pratt City area has come back strongly with single-family homes as well as multi-family homes in the area. So we want to have that vision of building up our housing stock throughout the city of Birmingham, but also the other part to that is to get people jobs, because you can't live in a neighborhood and expect to thrive and grow if people don't have jobs in those neighborhoods.
I think he does a fine job at that, because he said everything is for the good of the city, and I think that's where his heart and mind is, the good for the city of Birmingham. That's my perspective of the mayor, and I just really have a lot of respect for him, I would say it like that.
Our city is seeing an unprecedented level of interest and momentum. I think that we still have a lot of people that need to understand how we can come together more to leverage that momentum. And so I would like to see how we can further strengthen our community, whether it's the public sector, the private sector, or the nonprofit sector, into intentionally leveraging the positives that we have so that we can have more positive in the future.
The vision that I have was born out of what the neighborhood and neighborhood leadership have always wanted, and that was for INSIT to be revitalized. The key component to that revitalization is the Ramsey McCormick building. This building is iconic to the community because it represented the industrial age that was started in the Birmingham area right here in the INSIT community, and we want to bring this building back to life and for it to be the engine that drives the new economic development in this area.
We are so excited about this. The residents of INSIT, it's a conversation of all our get-togethers about the new development. So this would be a great thing for our neighborhood. We look forward to it, and we look very excited about this.
The one thing that I hear from just about every community is that they want a clean and safe community. When you have a community that's, trash is on the roadway, houses are dilapidated, it gives a sense that people don't care. When in fact, I know that the citizens who live in those communities do care. And we want to demonstrate that we care as well. And by working with the community to clean it up and to keep it clean, then that gives a new sense of pride, a new sense of purpose in our neighborhoods. So we've gone all out. We've had people say, well, when are you going to cut the lots? When are you going to cut the grass? Project Green Wave is so much more than that. It's removing abandoned vehicles, it's tearing down houses, it's a complete cleanup in areas. And what we ask the residents to do is to help us maintain that cleanup once we come through. And by having that partnership with the community in terms of Green Wave, it sends a sense that we're all in this together, and we want to make all of our neighborhoods that we would be proud to live in. For several years now, we've heard people complain about the lighting in their communities, the street lighting in our parks, that the quality of the lighting was not what they wanted. And oftentimes, if you have a dimly lit area, it also makes it more amenable for crime to occur. So we went about the process of looking could we affordably replace every light in the city of Birmingham. And through a program with the Phillips Corporation and Alabama Power, we are now in the process of replacing every street light throughout the city of Birmingham. It's going to be a 2-year process, but at the end of the day, I think we're going to replace somewhere in the neighborhood of about 72 to 75,000 lights in our community. That will increase the brightness in our community, will add safety and security as people walk down the streets in their community. And so we're excited about that opportunity. Through a public-private partnership with the Train Corporation, we are now in the process of repairing all of those public buildings, including our fire stations, our libraries, our office buildings that the city has, and other park facilities, to make sure that they're up to the standard that we all expect public buildings to be in. And that's a way that we can not only get the job done, but save money in the process. Because as we make these buildings more energy efficient, as we make these buildings more rain resistant, more weather resistant, it reduces our costs in terms of heating and electrical bills. It stabilizes properties that before were deteriorating, and it's a long-term process that these buildings will be maintained to the highest level for years to come.
When I think about the Birmingham Police Department in 2016, the thing that we're most proud of is being a pilot city for the National Initiative for Building Community Trust and Justice. So all of our officers have been trained in procedural justice. We're addressing implicit bias and reconciliation. As one of those pilot cities, we're helping to establish a national playbook for policing. Because in 2016, when we looked across the nation, we saw so many challenges regarding police work and community involvement. And we want to make sure Birmingham is never the lead story for that type of issue. One tool for our success is expanded use of technology. We rolled out the biggest body camera program in the state of Alabama, and it won't be long where all of our officers will be wearing a body camera. We also have new vehicles, and we're doing more with our in-house computerization. But another thing that we're doing is we're expanding our ShotSpotter system so that we can get better coverage. Because one thing we know is the system works, and it's a great tool to make our community safer.
This past year has been phenomenal for the municipal court. Not only have we consolidated some programs that we needed to put together, we had the opportunity to create some new programs. I'm proud of a partnership we have with the Dannon Project. We've created a community service program that pairs community schools and community service and gives people real life credit for learning things perhaps that they didn't learn when they were growing older. And when we put them through this program, we call it Life University. When we put them through the program, they're able to get credit at the court on fines and fees. The Dannon Project has a national grant, and they want to use this model across the nation. And so we're excited about that. We've continued our homeless court. We've continued all of our other specialty courts, DWI court, domestic violence court. But one other court we started this year was a community court, where we actually go out into our various communities and we hold hearings on code violations, environmental issues, and it's been received phenomenally well. I think it validates to the community that the court system is a part of the community. It also removes that feeling of being detached from a wing of government that has some control over their lives.
You know, one of the things that Mayor Bell has stressed to us is that we really are our brother's keeper. President Obama appointed the mayor to this commission about being our brother's keeper. And in just virtually every meeting that we have, he stresses to us that we are. And one of the areas that we are our brother's keeper is in the area of homelessness. And doing that One of the things that we do is our warming station. And regardless of your stature in life, you can come to Boutwell Auditorium and receive a cot, a blanket, and a good hot meal. Some years ago, we got involved in a program called Homeless Connect, and we're working on our 11th annual Homeless Connect. And this is something that Mayor Bell feels very strongly about. We provide all the services needed in a one-stop shop on that day, and we'll provide all services needed, whether they be legal or medical, whatever the service needed for the homeless community, we'll provide it on that day.
Several months ago, we did a survey of available technology jobs here in the city of Birmingham. And we found out that there are over 1,500 jobs right here in the Birmingham community that are going unfilled each and every day.
For Birmingham to be named a tech hire city is really exciting, and obviously there's always going to be a lot of work to do. But for us to have, these pieces in the ecosystem, different organizations like Tech Birmingham or Depot U or Innovation Depot that are really thinking about the future of Birmingham and the region and how we lay the foundation for training the workforce of the future is really important.
Tech Hire Initiative has the ability to, bridge the gap for those that have traditionally been underrepresented in technology jobs, to actually put them in positions that they can have a meaningful and living wage.
It's our hope that students and those who are looking to make a career change in Birmingham that are interested in going into the tech field can go through these fast-track training programs or go through apprenticeship and internship programs to get into a sustainable career. And we can retain that talent here in Birmingham.
So the tech hire designation is important for our city because it gives us a framework and a common language that we can all talk about and refer to as we're putting programs together, whether we're doing it individually or as part of an initiative. And we can use that as a framework for best practices and cooperate with other cities on how we can do it most efficiently.
The National Park Service just celebrated their centennial anniversary, 100 years of the National Park. And I know that we're so proud of all of the wonderful natural history that the National Park Service preserves on a daily basis. What happened right here in Alabama is worthy of being preserved for future generations. Don't you think?
Several years ago, there was a news article that talked about the deplorable condition that the A.J. Gaston Motel was in. And many people looked at it and said, well, mayor, council, what y'all gonna do about it? And so your mayor, your council, and all of us stand here today to say we're gonna preserve those icons of our community so that future generations and generations who may not know the story of the March on Washington, we stand united for everything that Birmingham represents in terms of changing not just Birmingham, but changing the world.